All right, so for today's video, we're doing something a little different. We're back on the boat. We're at an island here, local island, and we've been having some issues with the boat. The boat feels really light in the bow. You know, when you're running, it doesn't porpoise or anything like that, but when you're hitting waves, you really just feel the bow go up and down, and it's real easy to plow as well. You know, there's just a little bit of speed in your plowing. So we're doing an experiment. We got some sandbags here we just filled up. What we're gonna do is we're gonna throw a bunch of weight in the bow storage hatch. We're just gonna see if it makes the boat ride better. If you don't remember, my boat, when I originally got it, was a cuddy cabin. It's a Grady White. It was a cuddy cabin, so it had a lot more weight in the bow. You had windows, the steering wheel was further forward, and then you had this whole fiberglass and wood enclosure in the bow. Ever since we took that off, it's been way lighter in the bow. This is pretty much how it sits right now. It is sitting on the bottom right now, but you do pretty much see that much of the water line, even when it's not sitting on the sand. So we're gonna try and get it back to that neutral ride height and see if it improves it. We're gonna do 100 pounds first, push it out, see how it floats. If it's still sitting a little high, maybe we'll come back, throw 2 more bags in and go from there. So, all right, so that's the boat with 2 bags in the front. Water line's still real high. We're gonna throw all 4 in, check it after that. We got 6 sandbags in the bow of the boat right now. It's definitely sitting lower. The back almost looks like it's even come up a little bit. But now for the actual test, where we jump on, see how it feels with the extra weight in the boat. I already know what some of you guys are about to comment too. Why don't you just put trim tabs on the boat? Well, trim tabs are expensive for 1, and 2, I do have plans to put trim tabs on the boat, but I also think the boat could use some weight in the bow and trim tabs. So first experiment is weight in the bow, and then later on, when we can afford it, we'll throw some tabs on it as well, and I bet you we can get this thing riding real good. Another thing we're doing while we're out here today is we did a big upgrade for the boat. We got ourselves a little Garmin screen, 9-inch 940 SX. This is gonna be real nice. When we start fishing offshore with this thing, we're gonna have sonar. We got side scan and the clear view. That is 100% absolutely the biggest thing you could get to improve your offshore fishing. Going out there blind and thinking you're just gonna figure it out is really challenging. Not knowing what's under you, not knowing exactly how deep you're fishing. So a Garmin is an absolute game changer, and we're super stoked. We installed that today, and we figured we would test the Garmin while also doing the little ballast test in the bow of the boat, the extra weight. So immediately just coming out to the channel and walking around the boat, grabbing a couple things. The boat feels way more stable without weight right in the middle of the boat in that forward hatch. Just walking around. This boat used to kind of rock like crazy, and now it feels super solid all of a sudden. I'd say we were already at improvement. We haven't even started moving yet. So we got high hopes that when this thing hits some waves, that bow doesn't come up as much and it just kind of plows through it like as if I had trim tabs on the boat. You know, I don't have my fuel gauge set up yet, but I'm guessing we're about a half tank of fuel. Another thing with the original boat, when it was a cuddy cabin, it had 90 gallons of fuel, and we went down to 60 gallons of fuel, so we lost some weight there as well. As you know, that was also an aluminum tank, and now we have a plastic tank in the boat. So just cruising slow right here right now, the boat feels completely different. So right here at this speed before, we would be plowing super hard, and there'd be a lot of water coming up on the bracket, and it's already tremendously better. So right here I slowed down a couple of these clips while we're running out the inlet. You can kind of get an idea of what we're dealing with. You know, a solid 2 to 4 foot outgoing tide inlet. It's pretty rough. For the most part, we were running 35 miles an hour and pushing through it absolutely no problem. The camera never really does it justice as far as the waves go, but hopefully you can get an idea of really how the boat's pushing through the waves, and it was handling so much better than it ever has in the past. It truly was a night and day difference. That was the best this boat's ever ridden through an inlet like that. It was night and day difference. I honestly am a little shocked, to be honest with you. Only the bow through there, I would have slammed like 15 times. It just boom, 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 ate it up, no problem. And then also I came out here like 2 days ago, and it was about these same conditions, and I was doing this exact same thing. And without the weight in the bow, the boat was rocking like crazy. Now I don't even feel it, pretty much. So we have confirmed that we definitely need to add weight to the bow of the boat somehow or another. I don't think the sand should be a permanent solution, but it was a past experiment, and now we need to figure something out. If you guys have any ideas of how we could add weight to the bow of this boat, now I've already thought about building a live well on the front of the console, but I probably got 400 pounds up there right now, and it's still lighter than it was pre-cuddy. And a live well's not going to be enough. So, if you guys have any ideas, drop a comment. How can I add some ballast to the front of this boat where I don't just have sand bags sitting, taking up my entire bow storage? I will throw this in there too, though. I did get wet coming through that inlet just now. I've never been wet on this boat before, so. But I've always taken it a lot slower too, because the bow is always slammed so much harder. Traditional chirp's coming through great right now. Nice and slow, obviously, but clear view, obviously it looks awesome as well. Beautiful night out here. So just got done finishing the boat with sand, got done filling the boat with sand, and wow, absolutely night and day difference. I think I might have said this out there already, but we definitely got to add boat or weight to the bow of the boat somehow, some way to get it riding nice. If you got any ideas, let me know. You know, remove that cuddy, put a heavier engine on the back, and now we don't have enough weight in the bow. It's even crazy, you know, I don't know how much weight I have up there. There's freaking 6 50-pound sandbags up there. Definitely is some that are probably less than 50 pounds, maybe some that are 50 pounds. But that'll be 300 pounds added to the front of the boat, so that's a pretty big deal. I mean, the boat feels heavier on the trailer right now, which is pretty crazy. I didn't think I would feel a difference in my truck from adding 300 pounds of weight to the boat. I think if we took like 2 of those sandbags out, maybe did 200 pounds in the bow and got trim tabs, it would be super dialed in. You know, as previously when I would move the motor up and down, you would definitely feel a big difference with the bow rising and the bow coming down as I lowered the motor back into the water. And you could still feel that difference now with the extra weight in the bow. However, it's not quite as much. And the boat is also, it was pretty windy today. I don't know if that was why, but coming in the inlet when I was more in like that following sea, the boat used to ride great in a following sea, but in a head-on sea, that's when we'd be slamming. You'd really feel the bow coming up a lot. So we're doing way better in a head-on sea. I'd say we're doing slightly worse in a following sea, as well as we're getting a little wet following sea as well. You know, maybe take 100 pounds out and it'd be kind of a happy medium. We also lost only about 3 miles per hour at the top end. Normally when I would rev that thing out, I'd get 45 miles an hour. Today I was doing about 42 wide open. Another major difference though is just that slow idling speed going through a no wake zone. I used to have to pretty much go at a complete idle through no wake zones in the past, because just giving it a little bit of gas and that bow would ride up and then we'd be plowing and be making a big wake, making it look like we're going way faster than we are. But just now coming in, I was able to go at a nice cruising slow speed for a slow speed zone, and the bow stayed down, didn't make a big wake. Bracket on the back of the boat was staying dry, didn't have a bunch of water coming up on top of it. Overall, massive improvement. The Garmin is awesome. I absolutely love that thing. I'm like wanting to go fishing tomorrow morning now and go offshore, try and find some spots. So yeah, maybe I'll wake up in the morning and go fishing and take 2 sandbags out of the bow and see how that feels. Go try and mark some spots for some bottom fishing. Maybe do some trolling. That trolling speed, like I did a trolling speed offshore just now with the weight in the bow, way better. Couldn't do that before. Felt like the boat was sinking because the bow was so high and it was squatting so much. If you like this little experiment, seeing how we're going to figure out how to make the boat ride better with adding some weight to the bow of it, drop a like, drop a comment with any ideas of how we could do a permanent solution to adding weight to the bow of the boat, and hit that subscribe button. Really appreciate it. Thank you guys for watching. Until next time, remember, never regret a day in your life. Always trust God's plan.